You know, immediately following the World War II, it was a good time for growth and a good opportunity for us. We saw a lot of growth both through manufacturing of our own products and the companies we bought from other places around the United States. I tend to think that some of the more significant companies we bought from the Northwest that many of you will know, as you recall, Les Davis Company, the Eddie Pope Company, the Glenn L. Evans Company, Maxwell Manufacturing, Abe and Al, of course the Dipsy Diver, which came out of the Puget Sound, and many others, strictly from the Northwest that we bought. And that was where we really got our start in going national with so many of those wonderful products. We were enabled to employ more people, sometimes 100, one time 200, one time 300. And that growth brought a lot of wonderful people working for us, a lot of good friends that we still have today. We love them still, and they're all part of Luhr Jensen and Sons as we know it. So around the late 70s, we built a much larger building down on the port. It was around 100,000 square feet, and at that time we were really in an expansion mode. At that time we were enabled to, I think, to hire more than 350 people working in the community. So the growth in the 80s and the 90s was significant, and for myself personally, and my brother David and brother Luhr, who is down in Canada, we did most of the traveling and most of the selling.
Bill, how are Luhr Jensen lures distributed?
Luhr's lures are sold on a national basis exclusively to large wholesale distributors in the large metropolitan and trading areas that then are taken from the distributors through traveling salesmen and distributed to retail outlets, sporting goods stores, hardware stores in a given area.
Imagine, in spite of all of this capable help, you and your brothers do a certain amount of traveling yourselves, don't you?
That's right, Bill. Actually, we're one of us on the road just about at all times. We travel the northwestern area, and we have representatives in other areas about the United States and in Canada also.
And I think that was good. I think that our customer base liked to talk to the people that owned it. And we were a relatively small company, a successful company, yes, but relatively small, and small in our mindset and small in our attitude. We were just regular fishermen, just like the rest of them, and we established good relationship with these jobbers. And I think that that was part of the passion that helped our growth a lot. Yeah, I think it's an amazing thing to see the transition that's come from the small spinners and the lake trolls that my father would made in the 30s up through the 40s and the 50s and the 60s into the get into plastics, young man. We did get into plastic big time.
You also work quite a bit in plastic now, don't you, Dave?
Yes, we're making rudders in plastic and bobbers, and we're come out with a very successful soft vinyl gooey bob.
Real interesting operation. Thank you.
We had a dozen injection molding machines, and we made lures not only for salmon but for bass and for a different kind of fisheries that we enjoyed in South America. As our growth continued through the 80s and 90s and after the turn of the century, it became apparent that I think through old age, through my brother David and myself, that it was really might be time to pass on the company to somebody else that we thought was worthwhile. And that really good friend of ours owned a company they called Rapala. I'm sure you've heard of them. And I've been very pleased with how Rapala has treated our company. It's a standalone company for Rapala. Luhr Jensen and Sons still lives. And I'm very happy for that, not only for my family and our community, but for all the people that work for us. I just can't let it go unsaid how grateful we are for the community we lived in, for the community people that worked for us and with us to establish what we know as Luhr Jensen and Sons. And one of the things, if it's not everything, is to be proud of, is the legacy that our family and our father and our mother have left for us, and all the people that work for us throughout this community have made an impression in not only the United States but around the world. Luhr Jensen and Sons is a common name with fishermen, and we can all be proud of that.